Let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're exploring a radically compassionate and honestly, a legally brilliant path to community-funded abundance. If you've ever assumed that universal basic income absolutely has to come from some massive bureaucratic government handout, well, prepare to have your mind totally changed. We're going to look at how to build this from the ground up, completely bypassing those traditional systems.
Here's the roadmap for our journey. We'll be hitting cosmic rarity, reputation to income, distributed trust, the SEC 99-member loophole, a really incredible Hollywood case study, and wrapping up with minimum viable UBI.
Section 1, Cosmic Rarity. So we're kicking off this macro to micro journey with the ultimate philosophical justification for UBI. Because listen, before we can even talk about the money, we have to talk about human value. Now, traditional economics constantly hammers into us that value comes from scarcity, right? But if we actually zoom out to a cosmic perspective, across trillions of dead planets, conscious human life is literally the ultimate scarcity in an unconscious universe. You are inherently valuable simply because you exist as a conscious being capable of relationship and creation. You don't actually have to produce anything to be vanishingly rare and therefore infinitely valuable. And that brings us to this absolutely crucial concept, the death of deserving. For way too long, our social policies have been totally obsessed with this idea of the deserving poor. It's a mindset that just completely corrodes empathy and turns welfare into this gross, punitive test of virtue. We have to stop demanding proof that someone is good enough to survive. Instead, we need to provide support rooted in radical, unconditional solidarity. UBIs and charity, guys, it's the appropriate compensation for the value already created just by your existence.
Section 2, Reputation to Income.
Okay, so you might be wondering, how do we actually translate that beautiful, lofty philosophy into material support that, actually pays the rent? Well, this is where reputation currencies step in. They take the contributions you make to your community, things like care work, conflict resolution, or mutual aid, and they convert them into tangible access to real resources. When you consistently show up for your community, you build a strong reputation, and that translates into preferential access to opportunities. It creates what we call reciprocity insurance, basically the rock-solid confidence that the support you give today is going to be reciprocated when you need it tomorrow. It finally rewards all that relationship work that traditional markets completely ignore. Section 3, Distributed Trust. Now, I know what you're thinking. If we're tracking reputation and social contributions, a massive dystopian red flag probably just went up in your mind. We absolutely have to ensure this doesn't turn into some terrifying surveillance nightmare. And the key here is that distributed trust guarantees human sovereignty. It is the exact opposite of the surveillance-heavy, centralized control you see in systems like China's social credit. In a centralized system, a single, opaque authority controls all your data and judges your worth inside a black box. But with distributed trust, you own your data. The algorithms are totally transparent and governed by the community. And your reputation in one specific context, like being an amazing local caregiver, doesn't inappropriately bleed over and punish you for, say, your political views. We pull this off using advanced cryptographic tools, specifically zero-knowledge proofs. Now, without getting too far into the weeds, this tech essentially allows you to prove you meet certain reputation criteria without ever exposing the private underlying details of your history. So in this model, AI isn't some creepy tool for government surveillance. Instead, it acts as a safe, privacy-preserving membrane. It helps translate and verify your reputation without ever compromising your dignity. Section 4, the SEC 99-member loophole. All right, let's get into the practical legal mechanics. This specific number, 99, is not random at all. It represents a truly brilliant regulatory loophole under U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission exemptions. Honestly, this is the magic number that makes this entire community UBI concept actually possible today, without sitting around waiting for Congress to do something. By capping an investment club at exactly 99 members, you neatly sidestep massive bureaucratic red tape and those insanely expensive registration requirements. But here's the real aha moment for me. This legal limit perfectly aligns with human evolutionary psychology. It sits right under Dunbar's number, which is about 150, the maximum number of stable social relationships a human brain can genuinely maintain. So you're pooling capital at a scale that naturally fosters authentic connection, real trust, and democratic governance, inside of just becoming another faceless, soulless corporation. Section 5, Hollywood Case Study. So theory is great, but let's look at how this literally plays out in the real world, right on the hyper-segregated streets of Los Angeles. Take a look at the Hollywood Investment Club. This is an actual SEC-compliant 99-member club that is actively bridging massive economic divides. The structure is wild. Tier 1 brings the bulk of the financial capital. These are your highly successful entertainment professionals. Tier 2 is made up of middle-income residents, bringing a mix of money and community value. But Tier 3, this is where the absolute magic happens. These are unhoused individuals who contribute minimal to zero financial capital. Their primary contribution, local knowledge, mutual aid, and just their simple human presence. And yet, they receive full investment returns. This ecosystem is breathtaking because Tier 3 proves our opening philosophy in real time. Human presence itself is recognized as a fully valid, highly valuable investment contribution. This brilliantly illustrates how you can run a profitable, community-focused investment club where an unhoused neighbor has the exact same voting power as a millionaire. Seriously, through monthly assemblies running on a strict one-member, one-vote system, rotating leadership across all 3 tiers, and radically transparent accounting, the decisions on where to invest, like local affordable housing or infrastructure, are made collectively. It tightly integrates the community and provides material security and UBI benefits, all while treating every single member as inherently equally valuable. Section 6, Minimum Viable UBI. Now, you might be thinking, well, I don't know any Hollywood millionaires, so how on earth do I do this? The beautiful part is, you literally don't need a massive legal team or huge piles of capital to get started right now. You can launch your own minimum viable UBI today. Day 1 might literally just be setting up informal mutual aid networks or time banks to start recognizing the invisible value already happening in your neighborhood. By month 6, a small group could pool whatever microphones they have to make collective local investments. And by year 3, as your 99-member club hits its legal cap, you don't mutate into a massive bloated corporation. Instead, you scale horizontally. You federate independent 99-member clubs together. They share risk, pool resources, and swap knowledge, all while stubbornly maintaining that crucial human-scale local governance. Ultimately, this whole explainer boils down to a fundamental mindset shift. Traditional charity models, they keep people trapped. They operate purely on a scarcity mindset, managing poverty and creating deep dependency where the recipients are just treated as problems to be solved. We have to completely pivot away from that and start building investment infrastructures. Community investment recognizes that cosmic rarity we talked about. It sees the inherent value in every single person, and it actually creates abundance and true human agency. So, as we wrap things up, I want to leave you with this one thought. Take a real hard look at your own neighborhood, at your own networks. Ask yourself, who is currently being undervalued? What forms of care work, local knowledge, or just simple human presence are going totally unrecognized? And what incredible abundance could you unlock together if you decided to pool your trust and your resources into a community investment club tomorrow?